Life Stories presents a tale of mystery, heartache, and ultimate redemption. In the vibrant heart of Chicago, a seemingly ordinary night at an elegant restaurant becomes the spark for a journey that binds a troubled billionaire with a resilient 12-year-old waitress. When a hidden birthmark unveils a secret past, both lives are irrevocably intertwined, leading to a confrontation that unearths long-buried family truths and shatters old legacies. Please subscribe to the channel to start the story today, and join us as we explore how even the darkest secrets can pave the way to hope and a new beginning. I still remember that surreal evening in downtown Chicago, as if the city itself held its breath in anticipation. I was there at the Crown Pavilion, a luxurious restaurant renowned for its sparkling chandeliers and the delicate clink of fine glassware. It was supposed to be another ordinary night, yet fate had other plans. I had taken a chance that night, accepting a role that felt both humbling and strangely liberating. I was working as a waitress, a 12-year-old girl named Haley Johnson, with a quiet grace that belied the burdens I carried. My shoes were worn, and my arms trembled slightly under the weight of a silver tray laden with plates of sumptuous cuisine. I moved carefully between tables, each step resonating with the hope of making it through another demanding shift. Then, as if scripted by destiny, everything changed. While balancing my tray at table 7, my oversized sleeve betrayed me. In a moment of vulnerability, the fabric slid aside, revealing a small, dark, coin-sized birthmark on my left wrist. I had learned from a very early age to hide that mark, to conceal it from prying eyes that might see me as cursed or different. But that night, it shone unbidden, and in that single heartbeat, a well-guarded secret was laid bare. Across the table, a presence shifted dramatically. Tyler Anderson, a billionaire known for his austere demeanor and a past haunted by loss, locked eyes with me. I could see the shock ripple across his face, a mixture of disbelief and something deeper, a profound connection, perhaps, ignited by the mere sight of my exposed skin. In that moment, the luxurious hum of conversation halted. The clinking of glasses stilled, and a heavy silence fell over the room, punctuated only by the sound of my rapid heartbeat. Tyler's voice, trembling yet resolute, cut through the silence. "Stop! Who is your mother?" he demanded, his tone both accusatory and laden with sorrow. I felt a jolt of fear and confusion. I stuttered, overwhelmed by the intensity of his gaze, and could only muster a fragile, "I don't know." His eyes, so full of unspoken memories, seemed to search for answers that only the hidden depths of my past could provide. That single question shattered the normalcy of the evening. The room, once a realm of elegance and quiet chatter, became the stage for a drama that defied the boundaries of my small existence. I could sense Tyler's internal turmoil, a deep-seated connection that went far beyond mere coincidence. It was as if that unintentional reveal of my birthmark had stirred a dormant grief, a whisper of a history lost in time. I realized, in a rush of realization and pain, that his mother had once carried the very same mark. In that moment, everything about my life, my secret, my identity, was suddenly intertwined with a world of immense wealth, heartache, and buried truths. I felt an overwhelming mix of fear, hope, and profound loneliness. The empathy in Tyler's eyes reminded me that sometimes even the most unexpected connections can bridge the gap between worlds as disparate as ours. His silent anguish spoke volumes of a lifetime of loss, and the relentless search for truth that had haunted him since his mother's untimely passing. That night, as chaos ensued around us and the polished veneer of the restaurant cracked under the weight of revelation, I began to understand that my life was no longer ordinary. I was no longer just a young girl serving food to strangers. I was a living testament to secrets that stretched back decades, linking me to a powerful family and a legacy of sorrow and resilience. And as Tyler's voice echoed in my ears, I knew that the journey toward uncovering the hidden chapters of my life was only just beginning. After that fateful moment in the restaurant, my heart pounded with a mix of terror and a strange curiosity I had never known before. I was ushered into a quiet corner near the back stairwell, far away from the dazzling lights and clamor of the Crown Pavilion. There, In the muted silence, Tyler Anderson's presence loomed large. His eyes, still filled with an unspoken sorrow, softened as he spoke in a gentle, measured tone. "Haley," he began, his voice both tender and laden with a grief I could scarcely understand, "I need to know more about you. That mark, it's not just a birthmark. It's a symbol, a legacy that my mother carried. She always said it was a sign, a connection that bound us together across time and circumstance." I listened, my small hands trembling as I tried to comprehend the significance of his words. The weight of destiny pressed upon me, intertwining my life with a mystery far larger than the cramped confines of my daily struggles. I recalled how I had learned to hide that very mark since I was barely 5 years old, urged on by whispers and fearful glances that branded me as different. Now here it was, exposed before a man whose pain echoed in every syllable. I don't remember much about my early days," I whispered, my voice catching in my throat. "I was told I was found at a market, and I have no memories of a family that should have loved me." My confession hung between us like a fragile secret, shrouded in the soft gloom of our secluded space. Tyler's gaze was intense, yet empathetic. "My mother, Margaret, vanished for 2 long months when I was just a child. I was told she needed to escape to find solace for her health, but after she returned, she was never the same. And then she died, leaving me with a promise and a burden. She swore that if I ever met someone with her mark, I would know the truth. That person, Haley, might be more than just a stranger serving food." His words resonated deeply within me, stirring emotions I had never known existed. It was as if the quiet acceptance of my hidden self was finally being acknowledged, and the solitary years of longing were about to find an answer. In that tender moment, I felt a surge of both dread and hope. There was a bittersweet connection between us, a shared loneliness born from abandonment and the weight of unspoken truths. I recalled my guardian, Mrs. Rachel Thompson, who had always tried her best to fill the void with kindness and care, though never fully replacing the warmth of a true family. Now Tyler's gentle insistence suggested that perhaps, somewhere beyond the veil of my fragmented past, lay the love and identity I had so desperately sought. As he reached out, his hand trembling slightly as it hovered over my wrist, I sensed the profound empathy in his touch, a silent promise that together we could confront the ghosts of our past. In that moment, the harsh reality of our separate lives seemed to blur into a single, shared journey. I realized that uncovering these secrets would not only reveal my own identity, but also bring healing to a legacy marred by loss and betrayal. And with that, our silent pact was sealed, a promise to seek the truth, no matter how painful it might be. The days that followed our quiet conversation in that hidden corner brought a storm of revelations and a confrontation I had never dared imagine. Tyler and I, bound by a shared secret and an unspoken promise, made our way to the Anderson estate, a sprawling mansion in the affluent suburbs of Chicago that had long symbolized both power and silence. The night we arrived, the estate's towering iron gates loomed ominously, as if guarding decades of buried truth. Inside, the air was thick with tension. The grand foyer, once a sanctuary of refined elegance, now echoed with whispers of a past marred by betrayal. At the top of a sweeping staircase stood Richard Anderson, Tyler's father, whose cold eyes and dismissive demeanor betrayed nothing of the inner turmoil his secrets had wrought. His gaze fell upon us, and in that frozen moment, I sensed the culmination of years of hidden guilt and regret. Tyler stepped forward, his voice steady yet brimming with raw emotion. "Father, we know everything. The birthmark, the hidden pregnancy, the lies that robbed us of our mother's truth. It's time you faced what you've done." His words, firm and laden with sorrow, seemed to shake the very foundations of the old mansion. I clutched my wrist as if the mark itself held the power to unlock the chains of our shared past. Richard's eyes narrowed, and a bitter laugh escaped him. "You think you've uncovered some grand conspiracy?" he sneered. But before he could continue, Tyler produced a small, worn journal, a relic of his mother's final days. "This is her truth," he declared. "Every word she wrote, Every secret she hoped would one day see the light. You forced her to hide, and then you let her die in silence. The journal's presence, a silent witness to the decades of pain, left Richard momentarily speechless. As the confrontation escalated, the silence was shattered by the arrival of law enforcement. Flashing red and blue lights illuminated the grandeur of the estate. Chief Daniels, with a resolute calm, informed Richard that he was under arrest for obstruction of justice, abuse of power, and concealing a death. In that charged moment, the relentless grip of deceit loosened, and the long-buried secrets began to spill into the open. Richard's face contorted with a mixture of fury and disbelief as officers led him away. Tyler's gaze, now both triumphant and haunted by the scars of his past, met mine. I felt a surge of relief, tempered by the weight of what we had just witnessed. A confrontation that had shattered the legacy of silence, but also signified the painful beginning of healing. In the days that followed, the news of Richard's arrest sent ripples throughout the community. Headlines spoke of a billionaire's dark past and a long-hidden truth finally emerging. Yet for me, the true victory lay in the quiet moments that came afterward. Tyler and I found solace in our newfound bond, a fragile yet enduring connection forged in the fires of injustice. I began to see my life not as a series of unfortunate events, but as a tapestry of lessons in empathy, resilience, and the transformative power of truth. In the soft glow of early morning, as we visited Margaret's modest grave and laid fresh flowers, I felt an overwhelming sense of liberation. I was no longer defined by my past or by the shadows of those who came before me. I had a name, a story, and the promise of a future where truth was cherished above all. In the quiet aftermath of our turbulent journey, a profound sense of healing began to take root. Tyler and I stood side by side, looking back on the shattered legacy that had haunted our families for so long. The trial of hidden truths and long-held secrets had left its scars, yet it had also paved the way for renewal. We had reclaimed our identities, embraced the power of truth, and in the process, discovered that even the deepest wounds could eventually transform into sources of strength. Visiting Margaret's modest grave that morning, I felt a gentle warmth in my heart as the rising sun bathed the cemetery in golden light. It was as if the universe whispered that every ending was also a new beginning. Our shared journey had not been merely about confronting a dark past. It was about finding the courage to build a future filled with hope, love, and resilience. Tyler's quiet determination and my own fragile strength had converged, weaving a new tapestry of life where the pain of loss was balanced by the promise of redemption. As I looked forward to a future unburdened by secrets, I understood that our experiences, no matter how harrowing, were meant to inspire growth. Life is an intricate mosaic of trials and triumphs, teaching us to cherish every truth, however painful it may be. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more real-life tales filled with emotion, discovery, and profound lessons, please subscribe to the Life Stories channel. Your support not only keeps these narratives alive, but also encourages the sharing of hope and truth in every corner of the world. Stay tuned for new videos and continue to let the power of life stories inspire you every day.